Story. No he tenido sexo en seis meses, dijo la hermana Apache Gigante al Ranchero Virgen. The wind cut across the dry plains like a blade that morning, carrying dust, secrets, and a tension so heavy it felt alive. Diego, the young ranchero who had barely stepped into adulthood, stood frozen beside his old wooden fence, eyes wide, breath shallow. In front of him towered two shadows he had never imagined seeing up close. The giant Apache sisters, legendary protectors of the northern lands, feared and respected in equal measure. He had heard stories of them since childhood. Warriors tall as mountains, strength like carved stone, hearts forged through decades of surviving betrayals, loss, and war. Yet nothing prepared him for what happened when the older sister stepped forward, her gaze locked on his like a hawk ready to judge a trembling mouse. Then came the sentence he never thought he'd hear from anyone like her. No he tenido sexo en seis meses. Her voice cracked slightly, not with frustration, but with shame. Vulnerability. Something painfully human wrapped inside something impossibly strong. And Diego, the virgin ranchero, simple, shy, more comfortable with horses than with people, felt his world tilt on its axis. That confession wasn't meant as seduction. It wasn't even meant for him. It slipped out during an argument between the two sisters, a moment of honesty too heavy to hold in. But fate had placed him right there to hear it. Diego's fear meets their pride. He swallowed hard. The younger sister, Tala, noticed his startled expression and groaned. "Great. We scared another civilian," she muttered. But Diego didn't run. He didn't even step back. Something inside him pushed him to stay. Maybe it was bravery. Maybe loneliness. Maybe compassion. Or maybe it was the way the older sister, named Ayana, avoided eye contact after her confession, her jaw tight, pride visibly wounded. Diego knew that feeling too well. He had spent years hiding behind chores, livestock, sunburnt days, and silent nights, avoiding conversations, avoiding women, avoiding failure. He wasn't afraid of hard work or danger. He was afraid of being unworthy. Afraid he'd disappoint anyone who came too close. And somehow, in the giant warrior woman before him, he saw someone carrying the same fear. Why they came. Ayana finally straightened herself. "We didn't come here for pity. Our horses were stolen near your ranch. We tracked the thieves south." Diego blinked at the enormous hoofprints burned into the dirt. It made sense, only beasts strong enough to carry these sisters would leave marks that deep. He nodded. I can help." Tala raised an eyebrow. You look like you get winded carrying a bucket of water." Diego blushed. He did get winded. Often. But he found his courage and said softly, "I know these lands better than anyone." Ayana's eyes softened. "Then we'll trust you." A journey of truths. They followed the trail together, crossing ravines, dry creeks, cactus fields glowing under the sun. Ayana walked in silence most of the time, her steps heavy but graceful. Tala was the talkative one, teasing the ranchero, testing him, trying to judge his worth. He surprised them both. He wasn't strong, but he was smart. Observant. Kind. And when they reached a canyon where the trail split, Diego pointed at a broken twig, a displaced stone, and explained exactly where the thieves went. The sisters exchanged a look of respect. For the first time, Diego felt something warm grow inside his chest. Belonging. Nightfall. The moment that changed everything. They camped near a small cave where the firelight danced against the stone walls. Tala slept early, exhausted. Ayana stayed awake, sharpening her blade. Diego sat on a log, staring into the flames, unsure whether to speak or stay quiet. But then Ayana surprised him. "You look afraid of me," she said. He swallowed. "You're a legendary warrior. I'm just a ranchero." Her laugh was soft, bitter. Do legends not bleed? Do legends not make mistakes? Do legends not feel loneliness? He looked up, stunned. Ayana lowered her blade, her massive frame illuminated by the fire. For the first time, Diego didn't see a giant warrior. He saw a woman. Strong, yes, but tired, human, carrying the weight of expectations that crushed her spirit. "I only said that earlier because I was angry," she whispered. "But it's true. And sometimes, solitude becomes heavier than any weapon." Diego felt his heart ache. He wasn't used to comforting anyone. But words came anyway. I I don't know much about relationships. Or anything. But loneliness. That I understand. Ayanna looked at him, truly looked at him, and her expression shifted. Respect. Gratitude. Affection. You're honest, she said softly. That is rare. Diego blushed again, but this time, he didn't look away. The fight that defined them. The next day, they found the thieves, a group of armed smugglers with stolen Apache warhorses. The battle was brutal. Tala fought like wind and thunder. Ayanna like a living storm. Diego was terrified. But he didn't run. He protected one of the horses that tried to escape. He distracted a smuggler aiming at Ayanna's back. He shouted warnings. He threw rocks when he had no weapons. He stood his ground even when his knees trembled. When the dust settled, Ayanna walked toward him, her face unreadable. You fought without skill, she said. He lowered his gaze. But with heart. And heart wins battles that skill cannot. Diego felt heat rise to his throat. Ayanna gently placed a massive hand on his shoulder, delicate, careful, as if afraid to crush him. You're stronger than you believe. The offer. As they prepared to leave with their horses recovered, Tala nudged her sister and grinned. Just tell him, Ayanna. Ayanna rolled her eyes but faced Diego with a seriousness that made his pulse quicken. In our culture, she said, a warrior may invite someone to walk beside them if they have proven courage. If they have shown kindness. If their spirit calls to ours. Diego's breath caught. Walk, beside you. Ayanna nodded. Yes, not as a lover. Not yet. But as someone we trust. Someone who can grow. He couldn't speak for a moment. His fear, his doubts, his insecurities, all the chains he carried, felt lighter. He finally whispered, I'd like that. Ayanna smiled, small but real. The kind of smile that breaks storms open. A message strong enough to outlive the story. As the three of them rode toward the horizon, Diego realized something powerful. Strength isn't measured by muscle or legend. It's measured by the courage to show who you really are, flaws, fears, all of it. Ayanna found courage in vulnerability. Diego found courage in facing the world instead of hiding from it. Tala found courage in trusting new hands after years of fighting alone. Three souls, broken in different ways, walking forward together. No shame, no fear, just truth, and the beginning of a bond strong enough to rewrite destinies.